exactly what his presence did to her, and it was unreal. He practically oozed strength and heat, making her want to forget she was at work altogether, though what held him apart from every other man in this room was the power contained in his silvery blue eyes. The sharpness in those eyes captivated her. The awareness in their depths seemed to know all the things she wanted answers to, and the small smile teasing his mouth caused butterflies to flutter in her belly, flushing her skin red-hot. Suddenly she became very aware that she only wore a tight red T-shirt with Kinky Spurs written across her chest in bold white calligraphy, and tiny denim shorts that barely covered her butt. The only thing that felt covered up at the moment were her feet by her new dark brown cowboy boots. She forced herself not to turn into a babbling fool when he reached her. "What can I get you?" she asked. Proud, her voice came out steady and calm. That half-smile hadn't faded. If anything, his grin looked more dangerous than ever. He slid onto the stool, his forearms resting on the bar, muscles cording. "I think it's about time we stop this, don't you?" That low voice was as seductive as it was addictive. No man should have that voice. She gathered all her strength and replied, "Pardon me?" He leaned forward, focused on her. "How about we stop pretending that we see anyone else in this bar but each other?" She nearly opened her mouth and agreed with what he'd said. Hell, for 3 weeks she only saw him every time he came into the bar until he left. For whatever unknown reason, she was acutely aware of this guy in a way she'd never been of anyone before. This thing between them had caught her completely off guard, and whenever he was around, she seemed to lose control of her mind. Though on the flip side, she also got asked out at least 3 times a night. She wasn't only led by her hormones. Rules were rules. "I'm flattered, truly, and thank you, but we're not allowed to date customers." Okay, that was a total lie. Megan Harrison, the owner of Kinky Spurs, didn't put those kinds of restrictions on her employees, but Emma had learned these past weeks that this answer worked the best to get a man's attention focusing elsewhere. Sexy eyes needed to look elsewhere or she'd end up in his bed, a fact she knew with total certainty. She didn't have the energy for a relationship, and her heart was still healing. She was a month out of having her heart pulverized by Jake Cadwell. Getting into any type of a relationship, even if simply a sexual one, wasn't on her agenda tonight, or any night for that matter. Sometimes a girl needed to breathe without the distraction of a man. This was her time to breathe. Not giving Sexy Eyes the chance to talk again and pull her under a spell she'd never recover from, she turned to the woman sitting next to him. "What can I get you?" she asked. Sexy Eyes' answering low chuckle told Emma he wasn't anywhere near done with her yet. "Rum and coke," the brunette replied. Emma grabbed a glass from the bar, fighting against the shaking of her hand when she reached for the bottle of rum. Damn it! Sexy Eyes had been in her thoughts all the time, especially late at night, and that had been without ever talking to him. If he added charm into this obvious chemistry between them, she wouldn't say no to him, and she needed to say no, or at least her heart needed to say no. When she added the coke from the soda gun, her gaze lifted to the spot Sexy Eyes had been, and he was gone. Emma blew out a long breath, forcing the flutters in her belly to calm. "I need to call in a favor tonight." Emma blinked and glanced sideways, finding Megan sidling up next to her. With her trim figure, freckles dusting her nose, wavy sandy brown hair, and her unique eyes, one a crystal blue and the other a warm brown, she stood out in the crowd for sure. Everything about Megan screamed strength and sensuality, and as the owner of Kinky Spurs at only 28 years old, she clearly had a good head on her shoulders. "What favor?" Emma asked. Megan reached for the microphone next to the cash register. "You don't have any objection in taking part and rope 'em up, do you?" "Depends on what the game is." Emma had seen some of the games that happened at Kinky Spurs every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Last week, 4 women willingly let themselves be hog-tied by 4 cowboys. The winner received a free dinner at the bar. Emma didn't think that was enough of a reward. "It's nothing crazy." Megan smiled, probably at the trepidation crossing Emma's face. "You'll be a horse." Emma blinked. "I'll be a horse?" "Yep." Megan nodded. "You'll get